Thank you, Kim. That was really a great presentation, and we want to hear those stories. So I hope that you'll share some of those with us now. When I saw your first slide about the tale of two countries, I thought about South Africa, where we have this high Gini coefficient. You know, there's a huge difference between those who have and those who don't. And sometimes it feels like it's the tale of two worlds, not the tale of two countries.
Yes.
Really keen to know when you speak about changing beliefs as one type of recommendation, but I'd like to know what other recommendations you have, because our problems, I guess, are very similar to what you found in your research. So yeah, from your research, what sort of recommendations can you make?
I do think we fundamentally have to change the beliefs of school leaders as well as teachers. I think school leaders have an enormously important role to play in shaping the culture in their schools. There obviously aren't easy answers to these things, because if there were, we would have solved them. And I know these issues have been around for decades. But I think, you know, I know education systems, certainly in Australia and other parts of the world as well, I'm not so sure about South Africa, but they've tried all kinds of things like giving teachers monetary incentives to go and teach in rural or difficult schools, low SES places, and they've, you know, tried subsidising their housing and, you know, offering scholarships for teachers to train and then go and teach in these places, none of which have been particularly effective. So I really think that an important thing that I'm sort of beginning to work on now is how we can use stories to appeal and to connect with teachers' emotions and their identity, because I think that might be a key to perhaps shifting their beliefs in the directions that we want. So I might just share one of my stories just to illustrate that. So when quite early in my teaching career, I think it was about my third year after I graduated, I was sent to a very rural town of only about 3,000 people in the far northwest of Tasmania, which has, it's in an area which has the lowest rate of university education in Australia, other than the very remote areas of the Northern Territory. So it's pretty low levels of education. And I was told by the head of maths there that I was going to be taking the middle class of 3 in year 9. So he said this class has about half of them are in the top level and about half of them are in the middle level. And he was about to tell me, you know, show me the class list and tell me which kids were in which side of that divide. And something in me just instinctively said, no, don't tell me, I'll figure it out. And I went into that classroom on the first maths lesson and I said to them, look, I've been told that half of you are level 3, that was the most, you know, high ability group, and half of you are in level 2. I said, but I don't know which. I said, and I'm quite happy to go through the whole year not knowing. And I'm going to save myself a little bit of time and effort by teaching you all as if you're in level 3. I'm just going to prepare one set of lessons and we'll do that for as long as it works. So that's what I did. And the head of maths wrote all the tests for that group because he had the actual whole level 3 class as well. So I used his tests. And at the end of the year, all but 2 of them passed at level 3. So there were at least a dozen kids in there who should not have even been offered that work, but they succeeded at it anyway. So that had a powerful impact on me as a teacher. I mean, we can read about the power of expectations and how it influences children, but actually experiencing that was a powerful thing that shaped my beliefs and my real passion through the rest of my career to focus on trying to I guess provide opportunities for children who don't get them otherwise, and just my belief that all of these kids are capable of learning maths, and most kids are capable of learning maths much better than we give them credit for and that we allow them to do. So I think the other story, that student I mentioned who said, I didn't realise I had to ask to learn maths, she's actually doing her PhD at the moment. And some of the stories she's gathered in her data from low SES schools, I just find I can't help but, it almost brings me to tears when I read them. They're just so moving about the experiences of young teachers going into these schools, the honesty of their reflections about what they're thinking about these children who might be, you know, dirty or, you know, not well cared for apparently, and the judgments they make, and then how they shift as they grapple with those ideas and are challenged about them. So I really do think that getting stories that tap into teachers' emotions is a really key way of starting to shift their beliefs.